All right, well, today you're going to need this sheet. This is absolute value equations, special cases. So we've previously learned about absolute value equations, how to solve them. But today we're going to talk about when there's different answers besides just like the two answers when we split them up, two equations. Because sometimes we get answers that are no solution, and we want to talk about those situations. So if you look at number one today, so number one says the absolute value of negative 3p equals negative 33. And we have talked about before, we want to isolate the absolute value symbol. And in this case, it is isolated. Okay, but if you look at this problem here, you'll see that it equals a negative 33, which is a problem. Because if I take the absolute value of any object, it can't be negative. Okay, so this whole piece is isolated. So negative 3 times some number, and then the absolute value of that cannot be a negative 33. An example would be, if I break this up right now, negative 3p equals negative 33, and then I say negative 3p equals 33. Well, we divide those by negative 3, and what we get is p is equal to 11, and p is equal to negative 11. So if I plug that in, okay, so 11, negative 3 times 11, well, that does equal negative 33. But the absolute value of that is not negative 33. Just like if I take negative 11, so negative 3 times a negative 11, if I multiply those, you get positive 33. And the absolute value of that is not a negative 33. Okay, so if you ever see a situation where the absolute value bracket is isolated, but yet the answer is a negative number, that's not possible. So then you could just stop at that point and you could say, no solution. It's not possible. Okay, looking at number two. Again, we see x over 6. The absolute value bracket is isolated, and yet it equals a negative number. So again, there's no way that you can do it. There's no number divided by 6, take the absolute value of, will equal a negative 2. So again, we say the answer is no solution. Okay, number 3. Here we have a problem where it's a two-step, but the absolute value bracket is still isolated. Again, if it is isolated and it is equal to a negative number, that's no solution. Okay, if you look at number 4, the bracket is not isolated. It does equal a negative number, but we can't yet say it's no solution. All right, we do need to isolate it completely first. So I see it down here. It's being divided by 3. So I times by 3. Come over here, do the same thing, multiply by 3. Those cancel. And now we have the absolute value of 9 plus n is equal to negative 12. So now my bracket is isolated, and it equals a negative number. So at this point, I can say it's no solution. Okay. Today's problems that you're going to do, you're going to see some of them are actual answers like we've been doing, and some are going to be no solution answers. Okay, you guys go ahead and solve number 5. Number 6. Number 7. 8. 9. 10. 11. 12. 13. 14. 15. 16. And 17.